In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about our disconnection from our higher self or spirit, or call it what you will. So this video has been inspired by the teachings of Greg Braden, who I absolutely love listening to. He's a very well-known scientist, stroke spiritual teacher who's managed to marry the two very, very well. So I'm going to start talking to you about the fact that ancient texts and traditions have always known about this connection between ourselves and our emotions and our feelings and our immediate reality and those that are in our reality as well, and basically that they've always known that we are all one, we are all connected. We also need to understand that there is a force field that surrounds the earth and also weaves into the earth and is part of a bigger grid of light known as the global grid matrix. It has many names, but it's all kind of weaves into the planet, into our earth and up into the cosmos, and joins and connects to other realities. And this force field, or this energy in this global grid matrix, weaves into every living creature on our planet as well. So in this way we are connected, and science has now been able to explain this connection and prove this connection as well. You know, that humanity is all connected. We're all connected, and we're all connected to the earth through this force field, or this energy field. And also it's more importantly, it's been able to prove that our thoughts and our feelings through this energy field directly influences and impacts on our reality and on those around us. So for the last sort of 300 years, science has kind of shaped the way humanity, and in particular the Western cultures I'm talking about more, how humanity looks at the world and how we are connected or disconnected to the world around us and to each other. And basically the science has come up with these two very misleading assumptions that, first of all, you know, we our bodies and our spirit, I guess, are just, there is no connection, it's totally disconnected. And that secondly, our thoughts and our feelings do not impact on our bodies and do not impact in any way on our reality, on our environment around us. Now these are, you know, are false assumptions and misleading assumptions that now science has realized since then. But, you know, for 300 years, you know, it has led to this kind of disconnect to our higher selves or our spirit that the Eastern cultures have never forgotten. So, but basically what's been happening is that you know, that science has had this breakthrough recently, really. And this is because in the US they have two satellites, one in the northern hemisphere and one in the southern hemisphere. And these satellites have always taken regular readings of the Earth's force field, because science is aware that there is this force field, and they've been able to physically you know, prove this and explain this, and they've always been very aware of this. But these satellites have been taking kind of regular every 30 minutes, these readings of this force field. But in about 2001 or in 2001, in kind of the September time, the scientists noticed an anomaly in these readings. They were always very regular, and then suddenly they saw these spikes and these readings that were completely off the scale. And so they kind of set about trying to explain this complete anomaly. So what they did was they overlaid a calendar over the readings and noticed that these readings were, or these spikes or these anomalies in the readings and the data for the Earth's force field corresponded to September 11. And the first spike that they could see it was exactly 15 minutes after the first plane, terrorist, you know, the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center, the first plane crashed into the World Trade Center. So 15 minutes afterwards allowed for media broadcast. And so the scientists were able to actually prove and explain that the humanity as a whole were very focused on this disaster, and that the emotions that were provoked by the disaster directly impacted on the Earth's force field, and they had tangible proof. So this was groundbreaking. It kind of totally disproved these two assumptions that scientists has always led us to believe, that we are totally not connected in any way to each other or to our reality at all. And yet these data readings totally now disprove this theory, these two assumptions. So scientists then obviously went on to do further research and discovered that, contrary to what we believed, in that the brain was the driving force of our bodies, and that it was the most powerful thing in our bodies, well, they can now see that the human heart was 5,000 times stronger and more powerful than the brain. And that the heart has this electrical and magnetic force field, which is exactly the same as the Earth's electromagnetic force field. And in that way, we are connected. We are one and the same. So as I've mentioned before, this force field that surrounds the Earth and is also present in our hearts is part of this global grid matrix, which weaves into our planet and goes up into the cosmos and connects to other realms. And it's all part of one, and we are one. So yeah, it was a really, really big discovery. And basically these magnetic force fields are in the heart, are magnified and driven by our emotions, by the human emotion. And because of this connection to, everyone has a heart, and so and this Earth's force field, and the fact that we're all connected, means that we can impact our reality through our emotions and our thoughts. We impact the Earth's force field, and because we're all connected to this force field, we impact everybody else as well. And this has been proven by science, which is groundbreaking. And whether we are conscious of this link and this connection or not, we are all impacting on the Earth's force field by our emotions. So it's important to understand that the experience that we have in our bodies of thoughts and feelings is directly mirrored in the Earth's force field. And if it's a positive one, then we all benefit by that. And I think this is a very, very empowering thought, quite a, I don't want to say terrifying one, but overwhelming one, in that you think, well, if you're having a bad day and you're having loads of negative emotions and feelings and thoughts, that you are impacting on everybody in your reality and ultimately on the Earth's force field. But conversely, if it's a positive experience, then everybody benefits. So that's hugely empowering. And so we know that our thoughts are powerful. Our thoughts can directly impact on our reality, but we now know that our feelings are so much more powerful than our thoughts. So going back to what I said earlier about this disconnect, and that in the Western world we are disconnected. I don't think we, I think we understand that in some way that our feelings do impact on others. So for example, if we're in that bad mood, having a bad day, and we know that this you know, it kind of impacts on others and that it can bring them down. Well, we now understand that it goes so much deeper than that. But I think that there are a lot of people in Western cultures that still don't understand this connection, and I think the more of us that become aware of it, the better it is for everybody, because, you know, it will hopefully make us more aware of how we're feeling, how we're thinking, you know, at any given moment, because we know the full extent of how it impacts on our bodies and on our immediate reality. You know, but as I've said before, the Eastern cultures have always understood this connection. You know, what I mean by Eastern cultures, you know, I mean India, Tibet, Bolivia, Peru, Egypt. You know, that they've always understood this connection. You know, and they've never forgotten it. And I think they've always kind of honoured these more heartfelt or higher aspects of our personality and these emotions such as, or virtues such as forgiveness, compassion, unconditional love, etc. You know, they've always valued them and taught the importance of them, because they I don't know how they explain it or word it, but they feel it. You know, they must feel this connection and how it can impact on everyone around them and how it can impact on their physical bodies. You know, and I explain it as a higher frequency. These feelings of unconditional love and compassion, they vibrate at a higher frequency, and now we know why, because of this electromagnetic field within our heart that impacts on the Earth's electromagnetic force field. And so if we embody more of these, what I like to call higher vibrational feelings, then we know ultimately that that's going to impact on everyone around us. You know, everyone's going to feel a light, everyone's going to feel the higher frequency of and vibration of these feelings. So by embodying them more and consciously, you know, looking at our feelings and kind of letting go of the dense and more negative emotions and thoughts, and bringing more of these higher vibrational thoughts and feelings, we know that we're going to directly impact on our bodies, you know, and maybe even create healing as well, and also impact on those around us. So yeah, hugely empowering thought. And thank you, Greg Braden, for bringing that to my attention and the attention of so many other people, because I think it's so important to make people realize, or allow people to realize and become conscious of these aspects of ourselves that are so, or could be so potentially powerful and empowering. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share, like, or comment. And remember that I post every week. I post videos every week on kind of spiritual teachings, you know, meditations, and, you know, things for adults like that, and also for kids.